Hello, everybody! This is a special edition Oceanside Beach here from Stratford, from San Diego, California. You guys don't want to miss this. You don't want to know what I've done to two of my sisters today. But watch for the catamaran! Here we go. Let's talk about the book signing, like yesterday. How was that?
It was a blast. Look at how many people showed up, plus getting to be with other authors who were there. And quite frankly, it was an in real life event. This whole weekend, except for you, is meeting everybody for the first time in real life. So it's a chance to see, well, like we've talked about before, a chance to see, are they like
The same
are they the same as
online.
when we talk to them online, or in groups, or as posts?
Yeah. So Kinga was amazing. I got a big fat hug. And Mike, I did say penguin. Ta-da! Harsha was so crazy because like
Oh, yeah.
Big Papa, that's another, or Big Daddy. Inside joke, guys. Sorry. But it was really fun. Jacqueline brought her friends. I brought some of my friends and some random people. It was really fun. Dan was there. Angelica, thank you, sister, for being there and supporting us. These are LinkedIn people, online friends who showed up for us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, sister? How was your book signing yesterday?
It was good. It really brought everything together. Not just CJ and I met in person a while back, but being in person together, seeing all of the hard work in person and experiencing that together was good. So that was so fun, so inspiring. So it's just keep on going, keep on pushing.
Yeah. What are some of your experiences that you think people would want to know about not only just writing a book, but if you're thinking of like, oh, I could never do that, I could never write, or it's not me, it's not for me writing. What are some of your thoughts?
On me, actually, when CJ asked me, I said no initially, and no, it's been super freeing. So think about this: that somebody can benefit or their life can change based on your story. You can really touch someone's life and save it. A lot of us have heard other people say that to us or from each other have said, "Oh, thank you so much for that story because it definitely changes the way you deal with things." Because you really don't know what people are going through.
Yeah. How about you, sis? What are some of your thoughts for new authors? We've been new once, right?
We've been new ones, and got a chance to talk with people. It's like your name.
Yeah.
Her pulling things back, and really, too many people think they can't do it.
Yeah.
And the reality is, you can. A lot of the reasons I hear that there's too much out there, there's too many books, markets are flooded, all of these excuses for why. Maybe they've even uh, admitted it someplace and were rejected. Yet it's when you understand that, as CJ always says, there's 8 billion people in this world. No one book, not, the books that are out there, not connect with everybody that's out there. One book does. Books, always room for new ideas, new voices. Those are the people that
Because my neighbor actually said, "I don't even technology because I've been rejected twice." I What?
I don't know how many bars there are.
T-Mobile?
Hi guys, we're back. We're recording. I don't know how many minutes that was, but anyway, we're back. We're at the beach, that's why. Hence my little van business. I don't know where we stopped, but actually I just want to continue the conversation on inspirational, right? And my neighbor actually is a good example of someone who really wants to put a legacy out there, but in the wrong environment. So even though as confident as she is, as amazing as she is, when she wants to enter something and she got rejected twice, it made her feel like she's not good enough to enter anything, not just anthology, but anything. And so I told her, you know, sometimes you have to step back twice to move forward once. And I said, just try us once and see how you feel about that. Because we do have several single authors or new authors before. Even Danielle was new, right? How does that feel to be a new author at the very beginning? Like, how did that feel? Were you nervous?
Oh yeah. The first time, I was extremely nervous. You know, you think, oh no, am I putting out like something good? Because it's your first time, so you don't really know. So yes, I was super nervous, and then I was worried about how people, or like more my family, would react to my writing. But then you realize, like, you know, is this for them? Yes, for your legacy. But yeah, I was super nervous about that. But the outpouring of love after, and the good stuff makes it better.
How about you? When you were first time author on your book, right? On your book, especially on your own book, how did that feel versus the first time you did an anthology?
The anthologies came out first. Those are the ones I did first. And by that point, I wasn't really feeling nervous, because I had already done, when it came to the book, I had already done 3 anthologies, and each one was a little bit different. I have different viewpoints on them. When it came to the book, because it's one that I had submitted a few times, and people would say that they liked it, yet if the whole idea is to get it published in a publishing house, that is so hard to do. And even agents, they can like your work, but they'll just sit there and go, if I can't be 120% behind it, I can't sell it, kind of approach. So when it came to that, it was putting my own book together, working with somebody to do the cover, and then I just posted it up, published it. I'd done publishing, and it was an interesting time. There's so many different ways to publish, and at that point, we didn't have all of the things we look at now to try and push things out. So it was a solo deal, and being a solo publisher, unless you're willing to put a lot of money, it's a little more difficult to self-publish.
Wow. So we have that trash bin behind us. This is real life. We're being authentic. This is live. We're in my car, so we're just going to keep going. But what I really want to hone in, because we're probably, CJ, we're so sick and tired of talking about books. It's because here's the thing. When we do anthologies, it's not just about books. It's not just about your story either, right? People were like, how dare I tell my story? Who am I to tell my story that people would listen? That's literally what most of the people's questions are. And that's a first hurdle. For me, it's instead of thinking, how I dare not, right? Because think about the adversity that you go through your life. Imagine if you could actually help someone inadvertently, not intentionally, right? Because all of us doing business, we're intentional about helping people. But when you have that pressure, you want to be perfect because you want to help people. But imagine if you're just telling your story how it's supposed to be, how it really happened, and not worry about, is this gonna sell? Is this good enough? Am I even good enough? Right? You're just literally like journaling, except you're having a guidance of, hey, these are some of the theme that we're talking about. Like we're having an author's call soon for our August 1st, right? Anthology, Rebel with a Cause. So when we have a theme, you're literally trying to fit your story within the theme. When we think of themes, Rebel with a Cause, when you hear that word Rebel with a Cause, what's the first thing comes to your mind?
Somebody crazy?
That's you, but okay.
Yeah, I know where the name came from.
Uh-huh. When you think, okay, what can I write with Rebel with a Cause? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
It's going to be somebody that is tired of playing the games, tired of being stuck in boxes, because that's really what that's how I see it. If you're a rebel, you're going against the grain, and the cause can very easily be, there's lots of different choices for cause, but in this case, I see it as a cause to really expand, really do more than what everybody else is doing, to stop following the crowd and just be yourself. And sometimes being yourself is being a rebel.
Yeah. How about you, sister? When I said, hey, Rebel with a Cause. Sorry, guys, I got to turn this on here. Go ahead.
For me, I think being a rebel or rebel with a cause to me means someone who is passionate about something, about making a difference. It's challenging the status quo or what's normally done in order to make a difference. And to me, I think actually wanted to bring up that I think when you think of rebel, some people think of it in a negative connotation, but it doesn't always have to be, right? Think about people who invented electricity or invented cars or invented anything that made a difference, right? Weren't they rebels in a way that they challenged something, they fit some need, and they made a difference. So to me, that's what it is. You know, business entrepreneurs, inventors, visionaries, in a way, challenge the status quo and how it's normally done. And to me, it's a positive thing. It can be.
Yeah, I know. Rebel sometimes is that word. Like, for example, for Filipinos, when you say you're a rebelde, you're bad.
Yeah.
Like, automatically, right? But for me, I've always been told I'm the black sheep. I'm the rebel in the family, right? Because I don't go on what is expected or what is normal. So what is normal anyway? Ask yourself, are you really normal? Do you really want to be normal? What does that mean, right? What is normal to you and to me is different. So to me, rebel with a cause, like it's an oxymoron, right? Rebel is supposed to be bad, but in this case, it's good because we're standing for what we believe is right. I'm sick of people talking about, oh my God, this is what's happening in the world, and talk about all the problems, but what is the solution? One of you will have a sliver of the solution. Imagine if all of us, our little tiny sliver of solutions come together. Maybe we can do something really good for the community, right? For all those little pieces. So rebel with a cause to me is more of, hey, I'm going to provide something. For example, PR. PR is very expensive. Branding is very expensive, but I'm doing it at a smaller cost because I know as a business owner myself, it is so expensive to do that. But if there's a way that I can do it where you can afford it, then definitely I will do it for you. But in our society, if you're affordable, you're not good quality. If you're pretty, you are not smart. If you are smart, you are not pretty. If you are a nerd, you can't dress up right? If you're skinny, you are bulimic. If you are fat, you got some mental issues that you keep eating. Why do we do that? Why? Stop. What if you have going through yourself? If you can't speak or if you have issues with talking in public, you are weak, right? And if you have social issues, you're introvert, you're a nobody, you can't be a leader. Why? Who told you? Who told you that was the rule? So to me, rebel with a cause is write something in your plight that you're doing right now, whether you're a business owner or you just want to tell your story, okay? That damn it, I am doing this for me and for you, because if you don't want to fight for yourself, I will fight for you until you wake up, because you're awake but you're asleep. You're walking dead right now. When you wake up and said, okay, I am with her because I know how that feels to be this, right? We were on our audio room today. For those of you who are in audio rooms, one thing I want to give you advice, guys. No one really wants to hear you speak out of context. No one wants to hear pitch slap. When you're in audio rooms, there is an etiquette. Stop selling whatever you're selling unless the host will ask you that. And keep your thing at 2 to 3 minutes. It's okay if you give 1, 2, or 3 tips. I don't really care how many tips you provide. I think that's good because we're sharing knowledge, and I love audio rooms. But people, stay in context. Don't just raise your hand and speak. Actually, I would rather you not raise your hand. I would rather you listen. I would rather me listen than me raising my hand and I don't make sense, because you actually lose respect from people who actually respected you in the first place, and then they hear you speak, you're like, what is she talking about, right? I would rather you really go in there and represent who you are, because people sometimes judge you based on that one time. And if I offended anybody that I can't get you up today, it is not my fault. It is LinkedIn's fault. I'm just washing my hands. I literally recorded because Jen Lynn couldn't get up. And I'm like, sister, I switched to computer. I switched to my phone. I don't even see who's raising their hands anymore. And so we recorded it to make sure, like, hey, I don't know what to do. I don't have any control over this thingy-majiggers in LinkedIn, right? But again, context is everything. So to inspire others, you need to also get inspired. Right? If you keep saying you should do this and you must do this, no, I don't. I don't even know half of the thing. I took them boating today. That was not part of the plan. It was breakfast time. Okay? And I lit this blondie over here, drove. Watch out for the catamaran. I wonder who said that. I'm not going to say. Anyways, sister, when it comes to inspiration, what inspires you? I'm going to keep asking that. What inspires you to say, I'm going to get up today and I'm going to do things differently from yesterday?
Because every day is different. There's always a change. And everything you just said is just another way to move beyond boxes, to do something different. And if what inspires you is to do the same thing over and over, then that's your inspiration, and go for it. For me, I need variety. I need different things. I need to do something different. I don't want to be stuck doing the same thing over and over and having people tell me what I'm supposed to do or not supposed to do, because they don't know me. When someone's like, this is what you have to do, you can take it with that grain of salt, but if that's not your core, then they really don't know what they're talking about.
A lot of people also think that they know you, though, right? And they like, I know you, I know who you like, I know who you want to hang out with. And actually that act, as the intentions is good behind it, which we appreciate. And I like referrals, quite honestly. I love referrals. I love friends who tells me, hey, what about, this? But there are times when instead of assuming, maybe ask, right? Out of curiosity, maybe ask instead of assuming that these are the type of people that Susanna would love to talk. These are the type of people that Susanna would want to hang out with. We do talk with other people outside of the three of us in our circles, right? Even if Level Up. We are very guarded on our friendship because we've had some experience, less than ideal, right? And we learn from it. We're not saying we're close off and we're close our hearts. We're saying we're open our hearts and we're actually focusing more on good energy and making sure that everything that we do have intentions, because honestly, we want to inspire as many people as possible. Even on LinkedIn, even if we touch every single LinkedIn member, that's only maybe hitting 1 billion, maybe. right? There's 8 billion. There's no way you could. So if we keep like we feel you feel like we keep repeating ourselves because we're hoping that you guys would share our plight to as many people as possible, because that is support, right? And support is everything. And if people tell you, oh, support is nothing because it's literally you who did it, you can only go so far. Think about a relay race, okay? What is that race in the Olympic where you like give a
You just said it. It's
is
a
that
relay.
relay? Okay, so that is the one. I'm not into sports, guys. Okay, this one is. So like I'm a cheerleader, so I literally will give you something to hold, so you could keep going on that circle. Well, guess what? If you hand this to Susanna and Susanna's like, CJ, what is that? And just drop it and walk away, then the game is over, right? But if she picks it up and she keeps going, and then Danielle gives it, so then it keeps going, and that is support. If one of us don't support either of us or all of us, then it's imbalance, right? So support is everything. And if you think that support is nothing, you're not going to go anywhere, right? You might go somewhere, but not anywhere you need to be. And when it comes to soul-hearted versus heart-centered, what are your thoughts about that?
I think when TJ talks about it, like heart centered is, you do things with your heart, right? Soul centered is like within yourself, right? I'm going beyond what heart centered means to impact the lives around me. And I'm doing it not out of expectation of getting something back, but just because it's the right thing to do, to empower people. At least for me, that's what it means. Not only in the words that I'm saying, but also in the actions that I'm taking in and outside of the business that I have in my life, in the volunteering that I do, in the impact that I'm making, and also in my business. So to be aligned in that way to me is to be soul-hearted, not only in your actions and saying that you care about people, you want to make a change, but in your words and what you do. So to me, and I think we all talk about like alignment. When those things all come together, to me, that's soul-centered, soul-hearted.
Soul-centered, hearted is really the same if you really think about it, right? How about you, sister? When we change up, okay, fine, I'll change up, and then we change up together, all three of us really, and we talked about being soul-hearted versus heart-centered. What are some of your thoughts of what we're doing is really leveled up from heart-centered to soul?
Well, to me, it makes a whole lot of sense by moving beyond that heart-centered approach that, number one, it's more like a catchphrase for so many people.
Mhm.
When we look at what they say, it seems like what we hear is good and what we see is different. When we started talking about soul-hearted, I mean, the heart is so important, but the soul is our authentic self. The soul is who we are. And being heart-centered doesn't mean that you're really being yourself, but being soul-hearted, you can't move forward without being your authentic self. And that means you're not trying to be something that you're not. You're focused on being you. And being you is how you're able to sit back and see what others are doing and be there to help those who need some help them move forward.
Yeah, and so that's what we were talking about when we do things in our circle. We don't just do it nilly-willy. We also don't do it just because to spite people. We don't do it and take people from other people to do something that we think it's fun. We do things that are fun, period. But the fun really is actually coming out of that. It's because our intentions are pure, right? We actually want people to do better for themselves. We also know that we can't control people. We also know that even though we're old, we literally are gullible. I'm gullible sometimes. But we also want you to figure that out yourselves. And I feel like the more people talk crap about us, the more intentional we become, because we want to differentiate ourselves from those who are ill-mannered, ill-tempered, ill period. I was like, ill period. We just don't get a good vibes, right? And I think as we got older, at least for me, I'm going to speak for myself. As I got older, I stopped caring more about what others think of me. Perfectionism, I think, is something that we all do, not just me. We all do it. I used to think, oh, it's just me. Now, the more I listen to my sisters, the more I know, okay, it's not just me, it's everybody, right? Not just us either. It's everybody that I know. We like to be that, and I think it's because our society makes us that. But think about it: if you're skinny, there's something wrong with you. If you're pretty, there's something wrong with you. If you're not so pretty or attractive, there's something wrong. No matter what you do, there's something wrong with you anyway. So what are your thoughts on that? How can we not just like care about people, negative people?
I think this is something I talk to with my teenage cousin, and I talk to my kids about is that at the end of the day, we talk about this question, but are you happy, right? What makes you happy, right? External things are not going to necessarily give you that. Yes, it's nice to have family and it's nice to have people love you, but you yourself, like, do you love yourself? Are you happy, right? I want to be around that. I don't even remember the question because I squirreled out everybody. But, I just think, be yourself. Like, embrace yourself and don't apologize for who you are. And the right people, the right circle will love you for, being eccentric, being fun, going out on a boat at breakfast time and just laughing. Yeah, just laughing or dressing up or, being someone like, if that bothers you, then I would just encourage and challenge you to like reflect. Be happy for that someone's smiling today. And just give people grace, because honestly, like me, the last 6 months, the last year and a half has been so hard, but it's like, be happy for people. Everybody's just trying to make it through the day. I want to enjoy this moment with my sisters. When we put the wig on, I'm, oh my gosh, this is going to be so, but I'm like, let's just have fun. We have today, we have each other. We're blessed. So I think I went away from the question, but be yourself, embrace yourself. Who cares if people don't like you? I love me. And I know I'm doing the right thing by at least trying to empower others and to impact the world around me in a positive way. And even if somebody did something to me, or we, didn't cross paths, or you had bad energy, I wish you well. And I hope that you wish me well too. But if you don't, I love you anyway.
Right. And I think that's what it is. It doesn't necessarily have to be in question, but think about, I was kind of hurt when someone said something in the room today. Not for me, I'm hurt for somebody else. So here's my thing. If you have nothing nice to say to me or to anybody, right? Whether it's on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, can you just spend the time to be quiet and not send them messages? Someone that we know got a message today saying, you make me sick because you're so nice. Now, is that nice to say? Think about it. If someone told you that in your DM, whoever you are, right? You make me sick because you're so nice. Would you like that? Would you want that? If you had a child, a kid or a son or a daughter, it doesn't matter. And if your son or daughter got that DM, you make me sick because you're so nice. Is that a nice thing to say? Sometimes if you cannot say nice things, keep it to yourself, people. If you're having a bad day, go walk on the beach, get some inspiration, even walk around your backyard if you are not close to the beach, right? Go watch some Netflix, do something, watch a bird poop. I don't know, right? But please, just I do watch my bird poop, just to let you know. I do have a bird. I have ADHD, okay? We all do. So our conversation might be bouncing off the wall. Really, what we want to do is to inspire you in little many ways. You don't need a huge traveling in Dubai or Hong Kong to really get inspired, right? You can get inspired by your own story. That is amazing. That is fantastic. It is more than enough. You are more than enough, right? And, some people are like, oh my God, I don't wear makeup. You wear so much makeup, CJ. Is that necessary? Is that necessary for me? I'm so used to it. I just don't care anymore about that. But for me, my head is responding. Listen, if you can't wear makeup and I'm wearing makeup and you think it's too much, go to Ulta and go play. I play in my house. Would you like an eyeshadow to play with? Like, that's how I feel, right? It's not necessary for you to voice out something in your head sometimes. And I do it, and I apologize if I do it, right? But here's the thing. It's really difficult to live life as it is. And being graceful and really be intentional on what if that was me receiving that message at the other end. How would I feel? Keep that in mind every time you want to say something to somebody. I am taking my own pill too, right? Like, I'm like, oh God. Okay, CJ, just breathe. It's none of your business. Like, I literally have to talk to my damn self sometimes to control my thoughts, right? But at the same time, if I can do it, she can do it, and she can do it, we can. It's just a matter of control. What are some of your thoughts that comes out, sister, in this conversation?
Squirrel.
Squirrel out.
Exactly. It's all over the place. But if I take it right back to the concept of thinking about others and being soul-hearted, if you are soul-hearted, you're not the one that's there telling somebody negative things. You're not the one that's telling people, if you want to do this, you have to do this. You must do this. Maybe that's what worked for you, but that doesn't mean it worked for everybody. We'll go right back to that 8 billion people in this world. This one thing does not work for everybody. We are not all the same. And every place where they try to make everyone the same, it fails because we can't. We're each created differently. We're designed differently. We're placed here for different purposes. And if you're placed here for criticism, I'll pray for you, because there's too much of that right now. We need people to just let it go and be there for people. Oh, yeah. And how often does that song come up whenever we talk?
Life's too short.
Yeah. I mean, before we end, because we're going to need to end in like 2 minutes anyway, but before we end, what are some of your thoughts and reflections right at this moment? Like right now, this moment in Oceanside will never happen again. It might, but it's not the same, right? It's going to be different.
It's not the first.
Yeah. So what is your feeling at this moment right now? I'm feeling very grateful.
Well, totally. To be here and to have had the last 3 days with both of you picking up
Sleepyhead, sleepy princess of air, sleeping beauty,
not touching the doors.
But it's like from the moment I picked her up at the airport to now, and knowing that the day isn't over. The time is not over. And yes, once we get back, the phone calls are still there. The Zooms are still there.
Yeah.
Everything is still there. But this moment, when I'm able to stay in the moment, time doesn't fly.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to. Stay in the present. Forget about the past. Forget about, the future's coming too fast. Stay in the present, and time moves at the right pace.
Yeah. Live in the moment. How about you, sister? What comes out for you, at this moment?
Yeah, going off of what Susanna is saying, is just enjoy, smell the roses, right? Take a pause, and smell the roses. We all have to go back to our homes at some point, and we have to worry about all these things, making money just like everybody else, taking care of our families, making sure we paid the bills and all these things. But I just want to enjoy the moment. I just want to feel this time with my sisters, the first time being in Oceanside and riding on a boat and almost hitting a catamaran, whoever that person was, and just having fun and staying and being in gratitude always. Because in this moment and in this time, I just have so much love and gratitude in my heart. And so I want to stay there.
Yeah. Just capturing that moment and putting it in a bottle somewhere in my head. Like,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
honestly, like, you never know where friendship takes you, right? One minute you're friends, the next minute you're not friends.
Right.
But focusing on the good times rather than when it fall apart actually helps you heal too, by the way.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I've lost friends, not just from LinkedIn, but really lost friends from most recent ones. You know, when you change groups, when you change intentions, when you change business, when you grow, sometimes we let people go because they're not part of your journey anymore. At one point or another, they were, and it's okay, you know. But don't go out of your way to have ill intentions, because karma is a biatch, and you don't want that, right? And the boomerang, when it hits you, it's gonna hit you like nobody's business. Also, my suggestion would be self-reflection. Really, when you say be mindful, right, that word is thrown so much, but sometimes you're not even mindful even though you're saying you're mindful, right? And so I need you to reflect, get a mirror and said, okay, why are these things happening to me? And your happiness should not be coming from external. It should be coming from you, inside, not anybody else's business for your happiness. And if you are saying that your happiness comes from external, you need to self-reflect a little bit more. And happiness is not continuum. Contentment feels like it's close, but it's not close, right? Contentment actually to me is real happiness, because when you're contented, you're not going to look for more or strive for more. Even if you're contented for 2 minutes, you should just be happy at that moment, right? Self-gratification is something that we are always seems like looking for, at least for me. Like, I could buy something now in Amazon, is going to be taken 2 days, or I could buy something now to be in my hand, right? Self-actualization is not the same as self-gratification. Those are two different things, and most people think that it is. When you actually look for more than just yourself, when you think that you're doing something because it's good for somebody else, think about that word stay, right? I didn't originate it. Stop thinking it's about you, because it's not, right? When you stop thinking that it's about you and what you're doing, people actually will see you for your heart. And if people don't see you for your heart, don't try too hard. And on audio rooms, I've noticed certain people stop using the word you should, or you must. We don't have to do nothing. That's a choice, right? And I know that sometimes your intentions are good, whoever you are, but your choice of words are poor. I'm just saying, it comes off wrong. And if my choice of words comes off wrong, it's not intentional, and I'm sure yours is not intentional. So this is more of like, if you are using the word should or must, try to avoid that. I'm trying to avoid that, because I also sometimes use that on teacher mode, right? But honestly, teachers are just advanced students. We just know a little bit more advanced, that's all. So I'm going to end this with a quote, which is, find your own contentment and happiness. How about you, sister?
Stop listening to people who are trying to get you to do something other than where your soul and heart know you should go.
I love that. How about you, sister?
I'm going to say, love yourself, and you're enough. All
right. Bye, people. We will see you Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday, and Saturday for radio. Oh, let it go. Bye. Ooh.